What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to talk about the ban list. Now, unlike yesterday's unscheduled video, which I made anyway because it was pretty big news, today's video was entirely planned and entirely deliberate, and I left a space in the release schedule today because I knew there was going to be a ban list update. And there has been a ban list update. There's 2 cards that have been added, both of which have been banned, not restricted, but full-on banned. We've got the Leader Law from Starter Deck 10, and we've got Enies Lobby. One of which I kind of agree with, and one of which I can kind of see where they're coming from. Oh, and then there's a new leader to replace Law. We should chat about all of this. So first off, Starter Deck 10 Law. Why has it been banned? It's been dominant. Over in Japan, it has been full-on Law domination, like genuinely domination here. It's been winning the majority of events. Where it hasn't been winning, it's been taking second to Rob Lucci. It has been by far the best deck in official tournaments, and Rob Lucci's taken a couple of them. I think it's had like 2 or 3 wins and a final. It's been there. But Rob Lucci has been a distant second place at this stage. Law has been the dominant deck, and I've been telling you guys for a couple of weeks, well, a few weeks now on this channel, that Law was too good and that something had to be done. But they've gone and outright banned it, and I'm not sure I agree with that. And the reason I don't agree with that is because of Black Maria. I've been telling you guys for a while, when we first saw Black Maria, I told you it was too good. I told you it was going to be broken. And then, like, as soon as it became legal, we saw Law being broken. Or I should say, these bans go into effect on the 1st of September. And don't forget that OP09 comes out on the 31st of August. So it's just resetting it for a new meta. When OP09 comes out, these cards will be banned. So Black Maria, remember, it lets you put 5 extra Don out. Now, it can only work if you've got 1 Black Maria, admittedly. But you put 5 extra Don out, and then at the end of your turn, you have to put them back until you've got the same number or less than your opponent. But 2 things very important with Black Maria. Firstly, you don't have to exert. You don't have to rest Black Maria in order to actually use it. Very, 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 very important. Because it means that your opponent can basically never attack it. And also, you get 5 out in purple decks where you're constantly minusing. Remember, Don minus skill we see on Law. Don minus 3, put one of your opponent's characters of 3,000 power or less to the bottom of the owner's deck, and play a character with a cost of 4 or less from your hand. And up to and including, OP07, pre-OP08, we looked at Law as a good deck. In the current Western meta, Law is a good deck. Is it a great and all-encompassing powerhouse deck like it is in Japan? No. Why? Doesn't have Black Maria. The lead, and it's not all Black Maria, there's other things as well, but I do believe Black Maria is the biggest issue here. And essentially, the leader skill doesn't just automatically fire every turn, making it a less good deck. It's still the second best deck in OP07. It's still a really good deck, but it's not dominant like it is in OP08. I think if you take away Black Maria, Law becomes a good deck, but not the best deck out there. But clearly Bandai believe it's a good enough deck that it did need to be hit. And they've done what they did with Sakazuki here, and they've just out and out banned the leader. And they've also done what they did with Sakazuki here, and they've given us a replacement. And if I describe the replacement as a pale imitation, that would be giving it far too much credit. What we've got here, and this is going to be released and all of that, just like we saw with the other one with Sakazuki. And what we've got here is same stats, 5,000 power, 4 life, dual color, red, purple. Don minus 3, all good so far. Put one of your 3,000 power or more characters on the bottom of your deck. And then you can play a 4 cost or lower Hearts Pirate character from your hand. 2 massive changes there. Firstly, rather than getting rid of one of your opponent's characters with 3,000 power or less, you're getting rid of one of your own characters with 3,000 power or more. Oh, yeah, that's a lot worse. And secondly, rather than playing any character for free, you can play a Hearts Pirate character for free. So, Black Maria? Yeah, not a Heart Pirate character, sorry, won't work. Even like Killer and Kid, which was a big new card from EBO1, that's Supernovas and Kids Pirates. It's not Heart Pirates. And this is kind of my point here. Now, and there are going to be some out there, but it's not the same. Now the characters you can play with this are vastly restricted, and you've got to bump one of your own characters rather than your opponent's. And I just think this is pretty terrible now. I just think there's really not much of an argument here at all. I just think this is a really bad leader. And I really don't think we're going to see... It's going to go from being like the best card in the meta to basically trash? If that doesn't sound too mean? I'm not a fan of this new leader at all. But like I say, they're banning the old one. They've given us a new one. It's nice that they've given us a new one. But make no mistake about it, it is not even remotely in the same ballpark. It is, yeah. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry. So it's got to be a Heart Pirates character that you play, not anyone, and you're getting rid of one of your own 3,000 power or more, rather than one of your opponent's 3,000 or less. By law. The other one they've gone and hit is Enies Lobby, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know if I see this as enough of a problem. Now, don't get me wrong, the clear-cut second best deck in the meta right now is Lucci. And if you look at the OPO 7 meta in the West, the clear-cut best deck in the meta right now is Rob Lucci. And Enies Lobby is played as a 3 of in like 95% of decks, according to Limitless. The reason it's not played as a 4 is generally because it's a stage, so there's not much stage bumping, so when you find it, it's going to be there for the game. And it's a stage that lets you rest this stage, and if your leader's type includes CP, give up to one of your opponent's characters -2 cost during this turn. And then, of course, when you minus the cost, it's so much easier to then play stuff like Rob Lucci, that puts 3 cards of your trash at the bottom of your deck, and lets you KO a 2 cost or less and a 1 cost or less. But obviously, if you're lowering cost as you go here, then the targets you've got for something like... And there's a million other cards, like Rob Lucci's just an example, but Rob Lucci is generally played as a 4 of in, well, 98% of decks, sorry. So, yeah. It's a pretty good one. There's a bunch of others as well. You lower cost, you take advantage of the low cost. That's one of the signature moves of black. That's what black decks do. And basically, Enies Lobby makes that a bit too easy for these black decks to do. But I'm a little skeptical here. Now, don't get me wrong. I fully understand that Rob Lucci is a great deck. Absolutely understand that. And it's the best deck in OPO 7, second best deck in OPO 8, presumably with Law going away. And I think part of the theory here is if we take Law away, Rob Lucci's been so good for the last 2 formats. The concern is that all of a sudden, Rob Lucci in the OPO 9 format becomes unassailably good. Is that really going to happen? I mean, I don't know. We'll have to find out. We'll get that answer as it comes. But I'm not sure this was quite needed. Certainly, I mean, to be fair, if you restrict a stage, it still comes down to when you get it out on the field, it generally tends to stay around for the rest of the game. So restricting a stage isn't the same as restricting a character, for instance, because even if you can only play one, as soon as you find it, it's going to be there for the rest of the game. So it's all right. It's a good card. It's clearly helping out Rob Lucci. It's clearly a staple in Rob Lucci. Lucci is clearly the second best deck. I'm not saying they shouldn't have banned it, because I think there is absolutely a reason to do so. I'm just not sure if this was the problem card. So, yeah. That's what we've got there, the 2 cards that have been banned. And basically, they've completely gotten rid of the best deck in the format in Kid, and they have nerfed the second best deck in the format. Is Rob Lucci still going to be as good? No, obviously. If we didn't need Enies Lobby, then we wouldn't be playing it as a staple in the deck. Is it still going to be viable? I think probably, yeah. I think it's going to lose a little bit of power with Enies Lobby going away, don't get me wrong, but there's so many other cards at lower cost here. And that's the other thing that gets me about Enies Lobby. It's not a card that can be used in a whole bunch of different decks. It's my argument for why I've never seen Charlotte Linlin as too much of a problem. Because it's restricted to Big Mum Pirate decks, you can almost kind of allow for that in the metagame because Bandai can bump up other archetypes or, bump down the power of new Big Mum cards or whatever. It's not just a black card which is going to be dominating in every deck, like, for instance, Black Maria in purple. And I'm telling you right now, I fully expect Black Maria to just go and find another deck to break at this point. I fully expect Black Maria to turn around and just make something else broken at this point. And I still think it's going to get the Banhammer at some point. I still expect that to happen. It's just at the moment, we're not there yet. We'll have to see how it goes in the future. But those are the bans. They're coming in on the 1st of September. We've got the new law to replace the old law. But now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about these bans. Tell me if you agree or disagree. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about One Piece and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.